Take a listen. Here's Hunter from the passenger seat of his car.
Any hands, but I've got some big takeaways about this Cowboys-Packer game. I was hoping I would feel better 24 hours later, to be honest, but I really don't. It's honestly making me even more upset about this team. I mean, if we start top down, Mike McCarthy, your ass is fired by the end of the week. Okay. I mean, he cannot stay as the head coach of this team.
I agree.
Great, you can win 12 regular season.
I agree with that. I would agree. Mike McCarthy's got to go. Did you see Jerry Jones after the game at all?
Oh, I definitely heard the cuts. I didn't see I didn't see the video.
He looked, number one, completely defeated.
I saw they could not stop cutting to him during the game. It was incredible.
He looked awful. And then he calls it a complete embarrassment. Like there's no way.
Said he was floored.
Yeah. And honestly, if I'm Jerry, I'm floored too.
Everyone was, yes.
Yeah, I guess I was floored as a Packers fan, right? Like that's not at all what I expected. I like Mike McCarthy. I really like Mike McCarthy Way, the street in Green Bay. It's a beautiful street. Love the Super Bowl he won in Green Bay. I think he can be a great assistant coach somewhere. His head coaching tenure's done. Continue.
Games. Congratulations. Awesome. But you can't crap the bed in the playoffs like this every single year and expect to keep your job. You just can't. Dan Quinn was clearly interviewing and looking for other head coaching opportunities and wasn't putting in any time in this defensive game plan. And if he was putting all of his effort into that defensive game plan, his ass still needs to be fired because that was...
Pause. Oh, my God. All right. So he blames Dan Quinn's coaching carousel interviews last week as the reason Jordan Love tore up the defense.
He was clearly distracted. Yeah, he was too focused on his next job.
I honestly, I think he's wrong, but I love the take.
I think that's an incredible take.
I love the take. All right, continue.
Absolutely pathetic. The entire team was gutless. They had zero spine. They showed zero genuine heart or effort in that entire game. And it's been 30 years of this crap as a Cowboys fan. And I just want it to change. I don't care if they don't win a Super Bowl. I don't care if they don't even get to a Super Bowl. But at least don't look like the most pathetic, sorry excuse for a football team in the entire NFL. Wow. The Cowboys looked like the 7 seed on Sunday. The Packers played like a 2 seed. They played like a team that belonged. The Cowboys looked like they should be a top 10 draft pick team. That's how absolutely pathetic and sorry excuse of a team that showed up in Dallas.
Okay. I love the take on the 7 and 2 seed. Because he's completely right on that.
Oh, my God, yeah.
And by the third quarter, it sounded like a home game in AT&T Stadium.
Oh, you heard the Go Pack Goes.
Oh, yeah.
You definitely heard them.
Yeah, and you weren't hearing anything from Cowboys fans, which what are you going to say at that point, right? But
Fire Mike.
Fire Mike, right? I fire Dan Quinn, too, according to Hunter.
I mean,
too distracted.
Might have a case for it, honestly.
That's the best take of this so far, is Dan Quinn was too distracted, and he deserves to be S-canned. Because of that performance. He doesn't deserve a head coaching job nor the D coordinator job for the Cowboys. He needs to be gone. I love that. Packers were the 2 seed in that game. I agree with that. Hunter, continue.
And I'm so tired of it. I wish it would change, but I just know that it's not, and it breaks my heart. Oh. I hate it so much, and it just makes me hate the Packers even more, and I genuinely hope that the 49ers just absolutely beat the ever-living crap out of the Packers off of this game.
Wow.
Okay, see, that's just sore loser stuff.
Yes, come on.
Okay, but this does bring up the debate. If you lose to a team, do you want to see them go win the championship or get smoked?
I don't want to see them get smoked in the next round because then that makes me feel even worse about my team.
I 100% agree with what you just said.
I could agree with him. I would want to see the Packers lose, but I would want them to see them lose in a more heartbreaking fashion because I would want Packer fans to feel what I'm feeling.
Yeah, no, you're totally right. And the thing with Hunter is we know he's a Cowboys fan and we know he lives in Wisconsin, so he is not he is not the biggest fan of the Packers. So the way that went down yesterday, I bet he is like praising the Lord that he did not have to come to work today because it would be straight up verbal abuse toward Hunter all day today. But instead, we're just going to do it the pre-recorded Hunter. That's how we're going to attack this. So I interesting take, but yeah, it is what it is. All right, we got more.
Yep, I think we still have. I don't know how much is left, but I gotta imagine Hunter's got a lot more to say.
You're probably right. Let's go.
And I know that that's bitter, and I'm sorry, Strouf, and I'm sorry, Ryan, as your friend. I wish I didn't get to that point, but my anger has just boiled over so much at this Cowboys team that it's bleeding into the way that I'm approaching the rest of the playoff games. Amazing. And I'm sorry about that, but I'm just so pissed off at this entire franchise right now that I'm genuinely contemplating if after 30 years of being a fan, I need to give up on being a fan of this team.
What? No, you can't do that. You can't do that. Like, I understand being pissed off and sad and depressed. You can't do that. That's off limits. That's crazy.
You can't commit fan suicide. You can't kill your fandom. No. You have to stick with them.
No, and speaking of wild card suicide and fandom suicide, Emmanuel Wilson in the game in the first and second quarter, that's wild card suicide. I understand that won the game by a ton. Emmanuel Wilson doesn't belong on a football field.
Well, you have to spare Aaron Jones a little bit. You can't run him all the way into the ground.
Give me Patrick Taylor.
Maybe, I guess. I don't know.
Patrick Taylor, 3 carries, Emmanuel Wilson today. Anyway, that's just a total.
All right.
I have beef with Emmanuel Wilson. I don't know why.
Apparently.
I talked about him a ton on our ESPN Wisconsin sidecast yesterday. It was really bothering me that he was out on the field in the first and second quarters. Anyway, so I thought that I called it wild card suicide yesterday. So that when you said the word suicide, it made me think of that. All right, let's continue with Hunter. This is getting out there, though. I'm blown away.
Can't do it anymore, and I'm hoping that by Wednesday when I'm back on the podcast, I'm feeling better about this, but right now I really, really don't.
There it is. That's all.
Wow. I mean, look, I called him a doomsday fan. We just watched 2 minutes and 42 seconds of Hunter being a doomsday fan, and he was offended when I called him that.
I'll be honest, though. I don't think he's in the wrong to be a doomsday fan right now. After the way that game went, it's hard not to feel that way.
I agree, but to the point of, hey, man, I don't know if I could be a fan of this team anymore. Like that.
Hey, man.
Hunter's 30 years old. He's been a Cowboys fan his whole life. I understand they haven't been to an NFC Championship game since 1995, which, by the way, was 29 years ago. Third longest drought in the NFC, only beat by Washington and Detroit, which Detroit won. They are one game away from getting back there. I don't even know what to say to Hunter. That was phenomenal. That was everything I hoped it would be. He crushed that. That was exactly what I was looking for out of Hunter. And as doomsday as I anticipated he would be. That was absolute art. And I'm so glad we just got to experience that together for the first time, Ryan. That was special. And I appreciate everybody that's rocking with us, whether you're live on YouTube and Twitter and Facebook and everywhere else we're live, or if you're listening on the audio side of the podcast. We just witnessed history together, folks. I mean, that's what just went down there. That was unbelievable. I can't wait until he's back on Wednesday. We got a lot to dissect with